Late one evening, Jamie was restocking shelves in the clothing department. She'd been an overnight worker for years and was used to the eerie calm of the late shift. But this night was different. Around midnight, she noticed a mannequin moved from its usual spot. Jamie didn't think much of it at first, she assumed someone had been moving displays around. But when she looked closer, she felt a chill down her spine. The mannequin had its head turned, directly facing her. Its hollow, empty eyes seemed to follow her as she moved. She quickly brushed it off, deciding she was just imagining things in the dim lighting. But an hour later, as she turned down another aisle, the same mannequin was there, facing her again. This time, Jamie felt a surge of panic. She hadn't seen anyone move it, and the store was empty except for a few other workers. She walked up to it, heart pounding, and touched its arm. It was cold, like any other mannequin. But there was something disturbingly lifelike in the way it seemed to watch her. As the night went on, Jamie continued her work, trying to ignore the unsettling mannequin. But every time she looked up, there it was. Standing in different parts of the store, always facing her. At 3 a.m., Jamie couldn't take it anymore and went to tell her manager. Together, they returned to the spot, but the mannequin was gone. They searched the store but couldn't find it anywhere. In the morning, Jamie learned that there had been no mannequin in that part of the store. And the manager confirmed that none had been moved. Shaken, Jamie couldn't shake the feeling that she had been watched by something unnatural that night. The chilling encounter left her with an uneasy feeling about the late shift. From that night on, Jamie made sure to avoid the clothing department after midnight. She didn't want to risk encountering the mannequin stalker again. And sometimes, as she finished her shift, she could still feel those hollow eyes watching her. Steve, a seasoned employee, had heard the rumors about the back room. Other workers whispered about strange noises, cold drafts, and flickering lights. But he dismissed them, thinking it was just the effects of a cold storage area. One night, he was alone in the back room, doing inventory. Suddenly, he felt an intense chill that made him shiver uncontrollably. He brushed it off, thinking it was just the freezer. But as he moved deeper into the room, he heard a faint whisper. "Help me," the voice murmured, sending a jolt of fear through him. Steve froze, listening intently. The whisper grew louder, echoing through the aisles of stacked boxes. He felt the urge to leave but didn't want to let his imagination get the best of him. After a moment, he shook his head and continued counting inventory. But then, he saw something that made his blood run cold. A shadowy figure appeared at the far end of the aisle, standing perfectly still. Its dark form seemed to waver, as if it were made of smoke. Steve blinked, hoping it was a trick of the light. But when he opened his eyes, the figure was closer. He took a step back, heart pounding, and reached for his flashlight. In the beam of light, the figure vanished. But as soon as he turned the flashlight off, it reappeared, even closer this time. Steve felt a surge of panic and turned to run, but his feet felt frozen to the ground. Then, he heard the whisper again, louder this time. "Help me," it begged, sounding desperate and mournful. Steve managed to break free and sprinted out of the back room. When he reached the main floor, he was trembling, his face pale. He told his manager, who only gave him a skeptical look. But as the days passed, other employees reported seeing the same shadowy figure. Some claimed to hear whispers, while others felt an icy chill. The back room became a place to avoid, and only the bravest would venture there alone. To this day, no one knows who, or what, is haunting that room. And as for Steve, he never went back into the back room again. It was a quiet Sunday evening, and Lily was on her last shift before heading home. The store was nearly empty, with only a few late-night shoppers roaming the aisles. As she walked toward the checkout, she noticed an elderly woman browsing the canned goods section. The woman was dressed in old-fashioned clothing, a faded floral dress, and a sun hat. Lily thought it was odd but didn't think too much of it. She continued her shift, occasionally spotting the woman in different aisles. At one point, Lily decided to approach her to ask if she needed help. But as she got closer, the woman suddenly disappeared around the corner. When Lily turned the corner, the aisle was empty. Confused, she looked around but couldn't find the woman anywhere. A chill crept over her as she realized she hadn't seen the woman actually leave. She shrugged it off and returned to her duties, assuming she'd missed her. But as the night went on, Lily kept seeing glimpses of the woman out of the corner of her eye. Every time she tried to approach her, the woman would vanish. Finally, she decided to check the security cameras. What she saw made her blood turn cold. On the footage, the elderly woman appeared in multiple aisles, just as Lily had seen. But every time Lily approached, the woman's image would flicker, as if she weren't really there. And then, at 3 a.m., the footage captured the woman staring directly into the camera. Her eyes were hollow and dark, a haunting smile on her face. Lily gasped, unable to look away from the chilling stare. The camera glitched, and when it came back, the woman was gone. Lily felt a sense of dread, realizing that she had been watching something unnatural. She reported the incident, but the footage mysteriously disappeared the next day. Other employees claimed to see the woman in the store after hours. Some heard her soft footsteps, while others saw her reflection in the glass. The haunting of the phantom shopper became a legend among the night crew. And as for Lily, she couldn't shake the image of that hollow-eyed woman. Sometimes, when she walked through the aisles at night, she felt a presence watching her. She knew that the phantom shopper was still there, wandering the store, searching for something she'd never find. These three tales are reminders that sometimes, the most ordinary places hold the darkest secrets. In the quiet aisles of Walmart, when the world outside falls silent, eerie forces awaken. Perhaps the spirits are restless, drawn by the unending flow of life within the store's walls. Or maybe, they're watching, waiting for someone to cross their path. Next time you wander down an empty aisle or catch a shadow in the corner of your eye, remember these stories and tread carefully. For in the world of retail, you never know who, or what, might be watching.